Hey, Barbara. How is everybody on this Tuesday evening? I'm smoking some Brigadier Black Alamo, which was my number 3 for the year. From the Brigadier Black people, they've got 3 or 4 in that series there, and I want to try them all, but the Alamo is absolutely wonderful. Alfred got me Henry Sims, sent me some as a gift, and then he and I did a trade on some, and he fixed me up with I still must have 6 ounces of that stuff, and it's good. So it comes highly recommended if you like a little aromatic that's not overpowering. And I'm smoking it in a little Baracini, inexpensive pipe, little poker, come from Pipes and Cigars. And this thing here, they had them on at Christmas for $29.95. They were regular $39.95, $40. But even if you had to pay the $40, man, it smokes great. Toy maker Larry bought a couple of Baracinis. I think he bought a poker, and he likes them. But my wife wound up getting me about 4 various Baracinis, and I had a couple. MAs carried that line. I've got 2 that came from MAs, and they're decent. Of course, he gets a little more. Something that you could have got for $40, $39.95 at Pipes and Cigars. He's about $45, so about $5 higher. So I already owned a couple, and so I've got 2. I've got 1 pot. 2 pots. One of them hadn't even been lit up yet. I'm kind of saving it. Well, I don't know why I'm saving it. I'm going to break it in on when Governors gets open. I'm going to take his supposed signature series, his signature house blend, and I'll try it out in one that hadn't been smoked. So, and then she got me a couple more different shapes. I feel like I've got a doggone temperature trying to. The heat just kicked on. It's a chill in this house, but it's a different kind of chill. Just one of them don't feel good chills. Of course, I'm tired out. It's 10 minutes to 11 now, and I'm beginning to tire out some. I'm just watch a couple of videos and call it a day. Emily's out of school this week, so I'm laying a little bit closer to the house with her. But we've got to go up tomorrow and do some work at the restaurant, so Miss Emily's just going to go to work with me a little bit. Got a haircut today, a little barber shop around the corner here in our little community here. Old Tommy's been there he's been cutting hair for 45 years, but he's been at that little location for nearly 20. Just got a little portable building, and there's 3 chairs in that thing. There's 3 of them cutting hair in there, and he and his family have been barbers around here for years and years. They've been cutting my hair for 30 years, I guess. But he has, or one of his associates, but he got a cousin in there with him. Like I say, there was 2 brothers and a couple of cousins, but we're all barbers. And I got a young man that's working with them in there now, because Joe and Tommy's about getting ready to retire, and I think this young man's going to take it over. When they do, he's just going to hopefully keep it going. I hope he'll take care of it like Tommy did. Well, I've smoked about half of that Maker's Mark, and I gotta say, I just prefer the unflavored cigars. This is not a it had a little bourbon in it, and it's good. I'll buy another one on occasion, but I'd a lot rather have the Brick House, and it's about half the price. So, Alfred, you said you've been looking over there for Brick House. Just keep looking. They're a pretty popular cigar. I don't know. We're over there in that area. Y'all are pretty close to Atlanta, aren't you? A suburb? Maybe, I don't know. But somebody, if you don't find one, I'll send you one over there to try. I'll get one here and send to you. If you don't find one here in a few days, holler at me and let me know. I'll stick you one in the mail. Well, not a whole bunch going on. Today is the last day. Well, tomorrow at noon, they're going to shut the little supermarket around the corner, grocery store. They're building a new building. This building that they're in now has probably 7,000 square feet, 6 maybe. And they're building about a 12,000 square foot, and it's due to open Friday, so they're closing the old one down. That thing's been there for nearly 30 years, and building a new one, it's going to be so much better. I went in today and had to pick up a couple things. The shelves were nearly bare on it, but so I guess that was the last time to go in the old place, but I'm not going to mourn the loss of it. I'm telling you, that aisles were narrow. You get a buggy, especially if they're stocking, you couldn't hardly go down with a shopping cart. But this one, the new one's going to have a deli and a bakery, and in the deli they'll have fried chicken and rotisserie chicken, and they'll deli slice meat and stuff, salami and ham and bologna, luncheon meats and stuff. And I just would a whole lot would rather prefer my deli meats to be sliced, Sometimes I'm in a I want it razor thin. If I'm layering it and piling it up, making like a submarine style sandwich, I'll layer it. Sometimes I want, if I'm getting bologna, sometimes I want it shaved, sometimes I want it thick cut, just depending on what kind of mood I'm in. Get a piece of two pieces of Wonder bread and some Hellman's mayonnaise and a good thick cut of bologna, brine bologna. That's our food segment, food thought for today. Good brine bologna and Wonder bread and Hellman's mayonnaise. In our house, there's 3 things you're going to find, and we don't deviate from them. Irregardless of Heinz's political leanings. You'll find Heinz ketchup, nothing but Heinz ketchup, French's mustard, and Hellman's mayonnaise. And me and Miss Emily will get riled up if there's anything other than, of course, she doesn't eat mayonnaise, but now she's like her papa. She's a mustard lover, and of course I grew up on French's mustard. That's all my daddy will eat, and it is better. I bought some Heinz mustard at Sam's. They had a big 3-pack, had 1 ketchup, 1 relish, 1 mustard, and I'm gonna tell you, there's a difference in it, and I just don't like Heinz's like I do French. Now their ketchup, we swear by. We're mourning the death of a long-time head coach, West Monroe High School, Don Showers. He took over that team about 24 years ago. West Monroe High School was built in 1952, I think, and they had for nearly 40 years, they had just, I don't know if they even had 1 winning season. Might have had 1. But if they won 5 games out of the year, they were considered that was a good season for them. Most of it, they have had some they went winless, and a lot of just 1 or 2 games on their football And Don Shouse took that team. He had coached over in Ruston, and he'd coached, been an assistant coach at some university level. And he came in and he said, "Look, they bad wanted him." He said, "Here's the deal. I'm gonna take the team, but you got to let me run the team." He said, "It don't make no difference who your daddy is, or your granddaddy, or your grandmother. If you can't play ball, you're going to sit the bench. If you can play ball, I don't care if you ain't got a daddy, much less who he is. If you can play ball, you're going to play ball." And that's the attitude he took. And he took them over the last 24 years to probably 18 or 19 trips to the Superdome to play in the state champion, and won, I believe, 8 or 9 state championships with them. There wasn't, but the first year they didn't. I don't know if they maybe didn't make it to the playoffs, but every year after that, he built a powerhouse in West Monroe, Louisiana. They were known throughout the South for, and so an era is over. Of course, he had to step out mid last season. He suffered a stroke. He was 70 years old. He'd had he'd had 2 or 3 heart attacks, but he said he was coming back, and just got down. I think he got pneumonia here a little while ago and just couldn't get over it. But anyway, the town is mourning the loss of a great coach, but they've got a good one there that took his place. Another reality show coming out. It's going to kind of go back to the era of, when Andy Griffith came out. It was extremely popular. The down home, homespun humor. Gomer Pyle did good, and there were some others. It was a spinoff. There was Beverly Hillbillies did all right, and but by the time it rolled into, you had Green Acres come along, and I always thought that was one of the things that turned to people. People were just, they were tired of that. I don't know the right word. Hillbilly humor, kind of, so to speak. Well, we've had Duck Dynasty, and they're getting real outlandish. I haven't even watched them much this season. They at first. And it's still a good show, but I love to watch them because it was filmed here. But the reality shows are getting real outlandish. The new one coming out is Joe's Tire Service out of El Dorado, Arkansas, which is about 40 miles north of us here, about 20 miles north of where our restaurant is. And back when I worked for my dad in the tire business, Joe was one of my accounts that I called on, and how the heck can they make a reality show out of that? But, some of these shows show about people in the South. Some of them are embarrassing. Not everybody acts like that, I can promise you. There is some culture in the South. We do have a symphony here, and we have in Monroe, we have a ballet, and we have art museums, and now the Duck Dynasty didn't do it. But there's a couple of them that really paints a bad picture. That they're just fake. Now you get into certain parts, or every town's got one, and we've got one around here called Balkanville. You can see some stuff. They need to go down there and make a reality. They have what's called a redneck Christmas parade, and they throw toilet paper off of the rows of toilet paper off of them. But it's all in fun, it's humor, and there's some wonders down there. Let me tell you, in that part of town. Our church is located in that part of town, and several of us are wanting to move it. Back in the day, it was just a blue collar area, but over the years, it's turned to a meth riddled. It's bad, but. Anyhow, not much else happening. I'm going to wrap this one up. Get it downloaded, watch a couple of videos, and hit the hay. We'll see y'all tomorrow or so. But until then, y'all have a good one, and God bless.